Hey, everyone. How's it going? It's me, Victoria Baxter, Coach V, whatever you want to call me, of Saved and Single and New Thing Life Coaching. It's Saturday, so it's time for the Sassy Saturday special, and I'm definitely going to get just a little bit sassy today. But let me tell you, of course, as I always like to let women know, I might talk about certain things, speak on different things, whatever the case might be, but it's typically coming from that place of me too. I'm typically talking about something that I myself have gone through at some point. It's something I can actually speak from experience. It's very rare that the Holy Spirit will ever have me speak on something if it's something I have not lived through, unless He gives me the exact words to say. In this case, it's a little bit of both, but again, I've been through it before, and I wanted to share this all with you. So, some of you know, some of you even did the workshop with me, the boot camp, everything as far as the whole No More Lonely Nights, and just a quick little whatever as far as what that whole thing is about. So again, on the coaching side, with me doing dating coaching, specifically singles and dating coaching in that aspect, I have those women who are just like, hey, I'm tired of being single. What am I doing wrong? Right. So I first did the whole 10 wrong ways to get a man, because since that's a question that a lot of you have asked me, what am I doing wrong? I did the coaching. Look, this is what you've been doing wrong. You can still get that. I'm going to drop the link here below. So go get that and you will find out what it is you've been doing wrong. So then naturally, for the women who are just like, okay, that's nice. Now tell me what to do. Because let's be honest, some of us, we're clueless. We've been trying the same methods for years and it's not working. We're still single. Some of us have been listening to the advice of others and it is not godly advice at all. We're looking at what other people are saying on social media, podcasts, even some sermons, or a lot of sermons are leaving certain things out and it gets on my nerves, whatever. So again, for me, I know I'm not for everybody. But what I created was the whole No More Lonely Nights process, because a lot of women were saying, I'm sick of being lonely. I'm sick of, I'm sick of being single. I'm sick of, going to bed by myself, the whole nine. I made it very clear with that. That is not something that is going to teach you how to get a man, but it is going to give you 10 actual steps in order to find your husband. But we're going to do some back work first. And that's why it's actually called a workshop. It's not, hey girl, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and you too can have a man in 6 weeks for $49.99. No, we're not doing that. So that workshop was saying, hey, this is what you've been doing wrong. This is what you need to do right. Let's look at what the Bible says. Let's look at what, marriage truly is and the issues that you need to work on and the things that you need to get together in order to meet a godly man. Because if you don't do certain things, you're going to either remain single, which a lot of you do not want, or you're going to connect to someone who is just like the last three guys that you dated. You don't want that. Or you're going to end up with another person who is just like, I don't know, maybe the last man you had sex with. I know I don't want that. So here's the problem and here's the issue. When I did the No More Lonely Nights webinar, the workshop, if you already watched the webinar and signed up, you can end this right now, because I'm actually going to give a free tidbit on something that I included in that workshop, because it was something that a lot of people needed to hear. And it was saying, hey, here's the 10 wrong ways. And before I actually tell you the 10 things you need to do, you have a bigger issue. Because if you're saying, I don't want any more lonely nights, I'm sick of going to bed alone, I'm ready to share my bed with a husband, your husband doesn't have any room in that bed because your bed isn't even empty. You're saying that you want someone in your bed, but your bed is not empty. What the heck do I mean? Because some of you are like, only thing I got over here is teddy bears, Bibles, remotes, empty water bottles, snacks, the whole nine. No, your bed isn't empty. I don't care if you've been abstinent for a while. I don't care if you're a virgin. I don't care if you know that you're currently not having sex. It's not even necessarily that you're waiting until you're married. When I say your bed is not empty, I mean that because a lot of you still have men from the past that are in your bed. A lot of you still have baggage from other men and from failed relationships, from divorces and whatever else that you have not even tended to. I speak on baggage a lot. Let it be clear. Baggage is not a bad thing. We all have some type of baggage. It depends on what kind of baggage and what the heck you're doing about it and what you were doing with it. Because, hey, if I'm going on a trip, I am taking all of my things and I am putting them in a bag to take those things with me. I need those things. Those are good things. And when I get back home, depends on how I'm feeling, I may or may not unpack it immediately. But it's my baggage to tend to. I will tend to it when I want. Those aren't bad things in that bag. Deodorant and whatever, those are not bad things. Those are things that I need. Clothes, whatever, not bad. Baggage is bad when it's things that you have left unpacked because you don't feel like going through it because it's too painful. You don't feel like processing it. You don't feel like sifting through it. You don't feel like it's not even so much that you're afraid of getting angry because of what he put you through. No, a lot of you don't want to tend to it because you're truly mad at yourself and you have not forgiven yourself for what it is that you allowed, what it is that you put up with, and why you stayed with maybe guy 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you need to tend to that baggage, first of all. Again, you also have men from your past. Some of you are saying you want a husband, but you still have not even gotten a divorce. You have not, I don't care if you were never married to those men. Some of you have never even divorced men from your past. You haven't divorced that potential relationship or that marriage you thought you were going to actually be in. A lot of you have not yet gotten rid of the baby daddy that played you over. A lot of you still have the man in your bed that you really want him, but he doesn't want you, but you're hoping he is going to come back. So you're wanting you're wanting a husband in your bed. You're wanting God to bless you with someone, but why would God put someone in your presence if you're still holding on to other men? You're saying you're ready. You're saying you're single, but you're not. You're saying you're single. You're saying you want someone, but you are not. You are absolutely not single and you're not ready because every man you meet, you're still comparing him to the last 1, 2, 3, or 4 men that actually hurt you, that were a disappointment, that let you down. So why would God connect you with someone else when you're also still thinking about the ex that left you, the marriage that didn't work out, the marriage that maybe never even happened, the husband that wanted a divorce, the one that didn't want you, on top of the one that you want, but he doesn't want you. And you're mad because he doesn't want you. Either he told you he doesn't want you or he's hoping that you take a hint and you're frustrated. But you're trying to tell yourself, well, I'm ready for my husband. No, you're not. Your bed is not empty. You want a man, but you already have too many. And what happens is that a lot of times we get mad at God and we think that God is rejecting us. But if we're honest, a lot of times God is actually protecting our future husband because he sees that you're not ready. So I can tell you all day, this is how you get a man, put some lipstick on, step out the house, go do this, that, and third, and whatever else the case might be. But until you deal with your baggage, until you divorce these other men, you ain't ready. You're not going to be ready. And it's not fair to even want to connect to someone when you have not dealt with all these other issues first. I like talking about the woman at the well a lot because, even with my ministry program or whatever, I do an annual Woman at the Well conference, and it's about, discovering your purpose. That lady, the Samaritan woman, regardless of her past, she had a job to do. Jesus had he was very divine. It was very intentional, as far as meeting her there at the well and the conversation they had. And I could go on and on about that, but that would take this in a completely different direction. But go read it in John chapter 4 if you haven't and if you're not familiar with it, because it's so many different things. Women were considered inferior. Jews did not speak to Samaritans. A self-respecting man, especially a teacher, would never even be speaking to a woman with that who had such a reputation as her. So Jesus broke all protocol, even communicating with that woman. So when she was just like, I'm starting in John 15, she's like, hey, sir, give me this water so I won't get thirsty and I won't have to keep coming here to draw water. So Jesus actually said to her, go and call your husband and then come back. Why would Jesus tell her that when Jesus already knew? Jesus already knew what time it was. Jesus knew that she didn't have no husband. And she even said, I don't have a husband. And Jesus said to her, I know, you're right. In fact, you've actually had 5 husbands, and the man you're living with now isn't even your husband. So 6 different men. And here it is. Jesus said that to her. She could have lied. She could have said, oh, okay, I'll be back, Jesus. Let me go ahead and get him. Because that's what I would have probably done if I got Jesus in front of me, or, a man who I'm already starting to realize, because at that point she didn't really quite know that he was the Messiah. So I would have probably been like, you know what? He may or he may not be, but you know what? I don't even want to embarrass myself by having to address all these previous men. So let me just go and either pretend like I'm coming back and not, or let me just go snatch this man and whatever else. But again, Jesus, he already knew. So a lot of times Jesus is testing you. A lot of times he is seeing how you're going to respond. I even I put it in the group, and I wasn't, that was not my post or whatever, when it's talking about, hey, sometimes God will put a certain man in your life. We get so anxious because we're so desperate to be connected to someone. We immediately go into what? I wonder if this is my husband. Could he be the one? Or da 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 da. But it's like, no, maybe that's someone you're there to help. Maybe you're supposed to teach him. Maybe it's a brother, a friend, an investor, a business partner, so many different things. It's like all these different possibilities. And that was just 5 that were put there in that post. And I want to say I shared it on the Saved and Single Instagram page and in the private group on Facebook, the SAS Tribe, and even the Facebook page, Saved and Single -SAS. So I shared all of those things like earlier this week, but those were just 5 from somebody else. There are so many different possibilities when God will place someone in our life. But the issue is that sometimes, yeah, he might be testing you. He might be testing to see how you're going to respond. Are you going to sit there and act like you're ready for this man? That first of all, he might not even be your man for a romantic reason, but are you going to sit there and act like you're ready when Jesus is like, I just want to see how she's going to respond to this. Is she going to act like I don't already know that she already has somebody in her bed, that she's already dealing with someone? One of the things, and I will go ahead and give you this free tip. One of the things I included in that workshop on the number 1 way to get a man as a Christian woman who wants her husband, not a man. I have to keep correcting myself because it is about, how to put an end to being single, but it's saying, no, I don't care about you getting a man. Here's how to connect and find your husband. The number 1 way, you have to have a solid relationship with God. Because if you don't, you can be led astray by someone who is just nothing but, what is it? The wolf in sheep's clothing. Did I say that right? Because I'm all over the place right now. But you can end up being led astray by someone who's a distraction, someone who's going to be just like the last person, someone who's going to be another example, or someone else who's going to be an assignment, so many different things. And you might try to force something that's not even supposed to take place. But if you have a relationship with God, you are going to want to walk in holiness, righteousness, purity. You will have discernment. You will know to seek him for wisdom. You will not be able to be led astray by someone who is full of crap if you have a true relationship with God. And so many of us out here right now, we want a man more than we want God. How dare you? How dare you? Because at the end of the day, that is making this man an idol. And either God is going to do 1 or 2 things. He is going to wreck it and continue to wreck every relationship because he already knows that you're going to put this man above him, or he's going to give you what you want. He's going to let you have it. And you're going to be right there posting on social media. This bae, look at my engagement ring. We married now. Like going through all of this. Oh, the way God blessed me. And God didn't bless God. It wasn't even no place up in it. And some of you are probably thinking, yeah, right. Why would God allow something like that? If I got it, obviously he gave it. No, he will allow it. That doesn't mean he gave it to you. He will absolutely allow it to happen. Again, perfect will versus permissible will. Keep that in mind. So yeah, he will allow it to happen. It doesn't mean that was part of his plan for you. It does not mean that was part of his plan. So you need to have a relationship with God. The Samaritan woman had already went through six men that could not satisfy her. And now here it is, Jesus, the 7th man who she encountered, the number of completion. Some of you need to get close to Jesus now in this season. And for those of you who've worked with me or whatever else, you already know I don't play about that. I'm going to make you one way or another, you're going to form a relationship with God. Otherwise, I don't want to work with you. I don't care about any of it. If you're not going to do things a proper way, again, I already said, I don't care about your wedding day. I'm actually here to make sure that women have fulfilling marriages with God at the center. I care about marriage God's way. I don't care about your dream wedding. That doesn't matter to me. So I will continue being that voice and that person who is going to tell it like it is, a little sassy, fun, classy, whatever else the case might be. Sometimes a little, what is it? The clatch it, I can be a little classy and ratchet, whatever. I don't mind stepping on toes if it means that I can prevent you from dancing with the devil. I've said it before and I will say it again. If I can stop you from dancing with the devil, I will step on your toes all day long if it means causing you to sit down and to sit this season out before you settle. Would you rather have pain from me or pain from Satan? Which one you want? Pick your poison. You want pain from me or you want pain from Satan? So that's what it's going to be. And I'm just going to continue to be here and we're just going to let that be that. So get close to God and get all those other men out your bed. Okay? Because God right there, he sees it all. He sees it all, child. He sees it. So get rid of those men seriously. If you're somebody who is wanting to be a wife, some of us, some, and I know this from communicating with some of you, from sessions, whatever, some of us, I hate saying things like this, because sometimes it can always end up being that one person who has someone who they know is no good for them. And then they'll take one Facebook post, one whatever, and be like, oh, that's a sign I'm supposed to stay put. I don't even want to say this, but some of us do have a man in our life right now where we are supposed to be patient. Where God is saying, yeah, it's where God is trying to get you to understand that's him. But the problem is, for some of you, he is not ready. For some of you, you're not ready. So in some cases, there is someone who's supposed to be there, but not in your bed, or whatever else the case might be. So again, I don't like saying these things because somebody might have someone who's like abusive, dead end, toxic. It ain't going anywhere. He's playing you. He lying. He's stringing you along. He don't care about you. He's in somebody else's bed. He's already made it clear. And y'all are still holding on. Well, I love him. And I really thank God. And I had just met him right after Pastor had talked about. So I know this is, some of you got somebody that you need to cut now. Right now. And I feel that strongly right now. But for a handful of you, there is somebody that you can't seem to shake. And it is God. But instead of trying to force something, just ask God how to handle this. What should I do? Lord, help me to take my hands off. Lord, help me to trust you. Lord, give me more faith in this situation and in this season. So for some of you, you just got to be a little bit more patient and pray a little bit more and let that be that. And I'll just say that and leave that alone. But nevertheless, thank you for tuning in. Hope I didn't step on it. Actually, I hope I did step on your toes. If I did, sorry. I don't know. Anyway, for those of you, you know that you have someone in your life right now that needs to go bye-bye like ASAP, like yesterday. You might want to get the Cutting Ties webinar. If you actually go to newthinglifecoaching.com, click on shop and then filter to webinars, Cutting Ties is saying, hey, I got some things I need to cut ties from, whether it's a person, a habit, a relationship, it's something, whether it's sex. I give you a formula, it's worksheets, it's everything inside of there. And it's saying, I do need to cut ties now. I need help with this right now. Go get it if that is you, because you are holding yourself up and nothing is going to happen until you cut ties from your past, from that habit, from that sin, and from that person. For those of you who are just like, hey, I'm ready. I don't have anybody in my bed. This was a good message. I'm going to share it with somebody else. But hey, can you give me those 10 steps? Or what is this No More Lonely Nights thing? Let's do it. www.newthinglifecoaching.com/no more. And you can access the workshop. And again, you're going to get this right here was literally a snippet of what's inside that workshop. Again, a whole lot more worksheets. And it's going to give you information on blessing blockers and some more reasons of why you're still single. I'm going to tell you the process that I had to go through in order to find love, or for love to find me. I'm going to explain to you, how I had to take a lot of those same steps also. So that's going to be like the first half of the workshop. And from that point forward, it's going to be the 10 things that you need to do in order to get 10 steps closer, 10 giant steps closer to your husband, not a man, your husband. 10 things that I know for a fact will help you if you listen. Because some of you, you try to do things out of order. Those steps are in order for a reason. newthinglifecoaching.com/no more. Get the No More Lonely Nights workshop. It will bless you. It will help you. If you are one of those people saying, hey, I'm tired of being single. I just want to know, like, what steps do I need to start taking, or, whatever else the case might be. Whether you are actively dating, desperately dating, completely sick of being single, or just saying, I'd like to meet somebody. I'm taking this season, I'm sitting this season out, but it is obviously something I'm not doing right. And I'm curious to know what steps need to be explored from a biblical standpoint. A biblical standpoint at the end of the day, whatever. That's why I love what I do, because churches, pastors, they're not teaching us a lot of stuff. They have us feeling, whatever. If we even are tired of being single, if we're desiring a husband, if we want to go on a date, they're, condemning us in a sense if we're sexually frustrated or whatever else, or just letting us know sex is wrong. Stop or you're going to die. Stop or you're never going to get married. Just sit here and wait on God. No, No More Lonely Nights. I'm going to leave that at that. So, boom. The Cutting Ties webinar will bless you. The No More Lonely Nights workshop will get you in a completely different place. That is my promise. I will stand by that. I know for a fact it will help those who do the work. I know that 100% that it will actually get you there if you do the work. I know that for a fact. Like I said, that is my promise, because of singleness and loneliness is a problem for you. Then, as I say, I am the problem solver for the single woman who believes in God but has a hard time trusting God when it comes to the matters of the heart, when it comes to love, when it comes to, putting an end to the sea. Or, and I know we're not rushing, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with having this desire. I don't care what anyone says. So that's just that. God bless you all. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.